Hi and welcome. Today we're going to try to use alcohol inks for the very first time for some of you. It's a super easy and super fun thing to do, but let me warn you in advance, it's not an exact science. No two images will ever turn out the same, and one day you can be on and everything is beautiful, and the next day you want to throw the paper out the window. And like heads up, I have on far more than one occasion. But live and let live. It's a very creative process and it's very simple. If you watched my last video, it gave you a list of items that you would need to do some alcohol ink paintings, for lack of a better statement. And today we're going to use 5 of these items. We're going to use alcohol ink, obviously. I'm using an 8.5 by 11 sheet of Kirkland photo paper. Make sure always to use the back side because the glossy side is made to absorb the ink, which would be problematic. So if you use the back side, when you add the alcohol, it will actually move around the paper. 99% isopropyl alcohol. Remember, it doesn't have to be 99, it can be 91, but try not to go lower than the 91 because the 70 or 71% just doesn't work very well. I used a pipette to draw the alcohol out of my little jar and put it on the paper, and an air compressor, or an airbrush, most people call them. Remember, again, you do not need an air compressor. That's super high-end, and it's sometimes it's overkill. I started out using a straw, and I actually got my straw from McDonald's. I kid you not. They must have thought I was a whack job. Anyway, it's no big deal. So that's our list of items for today, and we're going to start out and have a little fun. Hope you enjoy.
The key thing to remember is everybody has their own style when it comes to doing alcohol inks. And over the months that you practice this, you're going to come up with your personal style. This is mine, for this one at least. I took a couple of different colors. I've got crimson, honeycomb, and coral. And you put a drop onto your paper. The next thing you do is you want to dry it so you'll be able to manipulate it later. Now I'm going to add a little bit of a different color. This is the honeycomb. Again, you want to dry it. And take time to make sure it dries well. Because if it's too liquidy, things are going to move too quickly for you and you're really not going to be able to control it. So doing it this way gives you the opportunity to be able to play with the ink a little bit more. And then I'm going to throw a couple of dots of coral on there because, you know, I like a little color in my life. Isn't it interesting how when you put dots of ink on a piece of a paper, they spread differently? It's because inks have different consistencies. Okay, so I will be using a air compressor gun, mainly because I get tired of blowing after a while. It takes your breath away. And I'm asthmatic, so I don't think I need any help in that situation. A lot of people wear masks to do this. I do not have a mask on, but I'm also working on a very small surface. I need to be clear when I'm speaking, and in all honesty, I don't work on it long enough that it's problematic. The reason people wear masks is because you're working with alcohol, and alcohol can actually give you a little bit of a lightheaded feeling. And if you're hand blowing it with a straw or with a little poofy thing that I showed in the directions, it can get a little airy or a little stinky. Try to do it in a very well ventilated area. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do once you have everything on the paper is you're going to drop a little ink. Now watch closely. Do you see how the ink is starting to spread? All you do is blow to spread this ink. Now, of course, there are all different things you can do. See how it's blowing? You can get multiple different effects from it. I actually like this wispy effect that came out of this one. You do want to make sure that it's dry though, because what happens is as soon as you add, whoops, there was a boo-boo there. As soon as you add a little bit more ink, another reaction is going to occur. Now I added ink there because I didn't like how it looked. So I just added a little ink to change it up a bit. Alright, so now this is going to be a very abstract piece. I am not going for anything beautiful or exciting. This is just for you to get the idea of how the inks are going to react when you blow on them. Okay? Now here's a little hint. If, say for instance, the ink is going somewhere where you don't want it to go, put a little cotton swab in, and you can erase it. It's kind of like your own personal little eraser. So it helps you control things just a little bit. So if you really don't like something, you can fix it. Okay? Let's try to add some other color here now. I'm going to put it right in the center of the coral butterscotch. And look at how pretty when the colors mesh together. Again, I am not trying to do anything absolutely glorious with this piece. All this piece is about is to show you what and how alcohol works with the inks and how you can move it around the paper. Many people do beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pieces with the alcohol, very abstract. Other people do flowers. If you know me, what do you think I do? If you've been watching my videos, you know I'm the flower girl. But that's okay. This one's just going to be sloshing the ink around the paper. And if you really decide that you want to try it, you can go out and I'll show you some more techniques in the future. The nice thing is you can play with it as much as you want to play with it. The bad thing is that no two projects ever turn out the same, which could be a problem because some people are perfectionists and alcohol ink is not a perfect craft. So after I spread the ink out, as much as I think I want to spread it out, I'm going to add some more because I like to add some more highlights to it. So your bottom layer is dry, but remember, alcohol inks react when you put your alcohol on them. So what that basically means is the reactions keep taking place. There is a product called Hilti layering fixative, I think it's called, that will allow you to actually freeze the bottom layer of your inks. So in other words, see for instance, I love this section right here. I could apply this Hilti layering gel over the top, and basically it will stop it from any future reactions. To be honest, you can only get it in Ireland. You have to have it shipped to the United States because they never seem to have it on stock anywhere in the United States. And it was going to cost me more to have it shipped than to get it. So I'm actually going to have one of my friends in the UK send it to me, so I'll be able to show you it in a later display. Okay? So let's just do a couple more of these so you can see. Notice I'm using a pipette. Kind of silly. I just haven't gotten any. Ooh, I love how this combines with the pink and the crimson to give you that beautiful tone. Isn't it pretty? Just to let you know, if you happen to use an air compressor, I have mine set at about 35 pounds. I'm not sure what that means. I don't like it to be super hard because then you're just spilling stuff everywhere. But, ooh, I love this. It's reminding me of maybe a sunset on a really beautiful day. I don't know. I just like the colors together. I'm a pretty easy girl though. And don't worry if you come to the end of the paper. I have a piece of paper toweling underneath it to take care of it. You can put whatever you want underneath there. It's really, really simple. It is a lot of fun because there's no constraints. But like I said, if you're a perfectionist, oy vey, it's problematic. There have been days when I've done this where I can't do anything right. And there have been days when I've done it where, whew, it's perfect. So let me do one or two more of these and then we'll let it go at that. Again, like I said, this is just an example of how the inks move and how they blend together. I don't want you to think that every project is going to look like this. I want you to realize that the sky's the limit as far as these are concerned. I'll do another one today, another ink one, where I show you a flower, so you can get some idea. This one I just wanted to play with it. And again, people have different strokes. Some people like to have these little lines in them, some people don't. Some people like really, really, really strong, bold colors. Some people don't. I like strong, bold colors in some situations and not such strong colors in others. The nice thing about this is, if you screw something up, you can go back and fix it. And that's my favorite part. But again, things aren't going to turn out perfectly, and you gotta be ready to be forgiving of yourself. Because you can do something one day and it looks exactly like you did it the day before, and something completely different is going to turn out. Okay, one more try. My problem is I'm usually in for the overkill. So I'm like, I'm done. Oh, maybe I'll stop and do one more piece. You know, it is what it is. I am who I am. I'm not proud. Okay, one last, and we will call this tutorial a day. Oh, you know what? I lied. One more then, because I kind of like to fill up my paper. Ooh, it's a big one. Again, what did I say about no control over something? Yeah, it is what it is, right? Have a positive attitude. Okay, so as I said, you can play with this for hours. I just shut off the camera a little bit and threw some more ink on and moved it around just a bit. Now, what you will do is when you do the continued layers, one on top of the other, you're going to get a more saturated color. People ask, well, why are you doing this? What is this for? Well, one, this is not the most beautiful example of alcohol ink, I'll be honest with you. But what it is it shows you that it layers, it mixes together, and it makes interesting shapes. What I've done in the past was combine multiple colors into different patterns, and I've used it as a background for cards, for signs, anything. There are things that you have to do to finish this off. I did actually make a gift for someone once and not realize that I forgot to seal it. There are specific sealants you want to use to make sure that it doesn't fade, it doesn't wear away, it doesn't rub away, for lack of a better statement. And I will do another one just on sealants, another video just on sealants, so you know exactly what to do. But for now, this is getting you into alcohol inks. Like I said, I used 3 alcohol inks, I used a sheet of paper, and I used a couple of drops of of 99% alcohol to spread the ink around the paper. As you get into it, you'll do more, you'll be more creative, you'll learn how to do different techniques. But for now, it's fun. And if anything, it's very, very unique and exciting. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Continue on with further tutorials with me so you can learn more about alcohol inks, painting with alcohol inks, sealing, and making jewelry. There are so many options you can have with this wonderfully fun and somewhat inexpensive hobby. Have a great day, enjoy, and happy crafting! So some of you may know the wallpaper I have in my craft room. If you followed me, you can see this is the wallpaper. This is just that little thing I did. Look a little familiar? How funny is that? I never realized I was doing it. I never realized it was the same colors, but realistically, it doesn't look very different from my wallpaper. So this is a close-up of the thing I just made. Notice there are little spritzes all over it, like little dots. What I ended up doing after I shut the camera off was I took an atomizer with some alcohol in it and then sprayed it right onto the, here it is, the pulverizador. I sprinkled it onto the print that we made, and it made this sort of speckled mess, and I love it. Hope you do too.
Well, it can never be said that I leave well enough alone. When all was said and done, I ended up grabbing a stamp pad and a stamp. I'm not sure who made the stamp, to be honest with you. It could be Stampin' Up, it could be some rando company. And I ended up stamping the word merci on the background that I did for you guys. And now I'm going to use it as a background for a card. It's not sealed, it won't last forever, but cards are ephemeral anyway. So it will go out with my next thank you. Have a great day, enjoy, and no more postscripts, I promise. I have a tendency to go on and on and on. See ya!